Ladies and gentlemen, I just had the best podcast of my life.
The line between insanity and genius is a very fine line. I'm not wearing pants. This was a souvenir from one of my.
No, that's
my
not what I.
there.
That's not what I think it is. It should be a meme face, and it says they didn't donate. And unfortunately, no one will be able to see it because of Brian Rose. Guys, the age-old question happened. What happens when someone who will die for free speech meets a fragile ego that can't handle any criticism? Nuclear hypocrisy. I don't know how else to say it. Guys, we just got copyright claimed by London Real TV. This is Mr. Free Speech, the guy who wants no censorship of any kind. I don't know if you remember this. Maybe you remember his little tagline.
Jordan, you know, I might not agree with everything you have to say.
I don't agree with everything you say.
I might not agree with everything you say, but I will defend to the death. I will defend to the death your right to say it.
Yeah. Brian, I may not agree with everything you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. Rose censored us on our show. And probably even more disgusting is the fact that he's made a bunch of influencers think that he's the king of free speech. Look at this guy. This guy right here has like 2 million subscribers, and he thinks that Brian Rose is the first one to ever come up with this idea of free speech here.
In the words of Brian Rose, I may not agree with everything you have to say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it.
Hey, that wasn't Brian Rose who came up with that. Pretty sure it's like Voltaire. But we're dealing with this guy, and he says, you know, oh, I'm the modern free speech warrior. You know, you can trust me. You can donate to me. He's taken millions of dollars to build a digital freedom platform free of censorship, right? Except he's censoring other people. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Stephen, how do you know? Maybe it was just an honest mistake. It's all a big coincidence. Well, we actually have precedents for that. He's done this to other creators too who have been critical of him. This is Rebel Wisdom, who I did a video with. He also faced the wrath of Brian Rose, and he also got censored.
We have issued a copyright claim, got many of our investigations taken down, and also a copyright strike against Rebel Wisdom.
If you're just an average guy, you've never taken a stance on free speech, maybe it's understandable that you get offended, you just, in the heat of the moment, you take down someone's content. But to be the guy always claiming to be Mr. Free Speech, always claiming that you're so above censorship. In fact, you raised millions of dollars to be above censorship. For you to go and be that guy to then go and use the copyright system like this when it was clearly fair use. We were commenting on his little kung fu movie the entire time, transforming the content the entire time. For you to censor that, that is pure and total hypocrisy.
One thing I've understood about freedom of speech is it really means freedom of speech for things you don't want to hear out of other people's minds.
Brian! The sheer cognitive dissonance of these two stances is too much for me to bear, Brian.
It's really easy to say, I can say what I want. But the question is, like you said, will you defend to the death someone else's right to say something you fundamentally disagree with?
Guys, I don't know what else to say. I think we need a place free of censorship. I think YouTube's not enough, right? YouTube just lets anyone take down your video for any reason. I think we need something better. BitChute? No. Library? No. Storyfire? No. I think we need our own digital freedom platform. That's why today I'm no, I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be hilarious if we started our own rival digital freedom platform company, though, just to put up that one video of us making fun of Brian's karate movie? So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I need to call DeCast or something like that. Let's get Daily Motion on the phone. Let's build this thing, huh? And look, you might be asking yourself, why would Brian do this? And I want to submit to you that I think that he actually doesn't believe in free speech at all. I think he's using it as a convenient tool, and I'm going to try to prove that to you right now, okay? Here's evidence one. Here's him saying that he studies like books about psychopaths and manipulation and power. He's going to endorse these two books that really no sane person would think, oh, this is a way to model my life. Here, listen to this.
I read American Psycho. I read the book Pimp by Iceberg Slim, and I saw these as training manuals.
Hey, Pimp and American Psycho? Or about, hey, spoiler, psychos.
Bruh.
That's what they're about. These are books to show the underbelly of society, not to show you how to treat people. If you guys don't know, Pimp by Iceberg Slim, a lot of rappers got inspired by him, like Ice Cube, all these Ice T's. They got inspired by Iceberg Slim. Iceberg Slim wrote this book called Pimp to basically document his experiences as a pimp and controlling women and controlling people. This is the book that Brian Rose says was his training manual. Meanwhile, Iceberg Slim, it's not like, he doesn't really glorify it. It's just like an honest account, but he doesn't really glorify it. He's like, look, I could have been a better person if I had a different upbringing. And meanwhile, Brian Rose is like, hey, great, some manual on how to control people with manipulation. So I wouldn't put it past Brian to weaponize something like free speech. You know, he's going to say that he's a big fan. He's not actually. He's actually a big fan as far as it can serve his devices. And when his devices are no longer served, like in the case of us showing a video about him, kind of mocking him, kind of teasing him a little bit, that all of a sudden he's going to get super upset about. And now freedom of speech no longer applies. No freedom of speech for me. I also want to show you guys this. Brian Rose has also been kind of getting rid of free speech on his own channel even. He's been deleting a bunch of content ever since he announced his mayoral run here. If you look at his social blade, you can see that he deleted a bunch of videos really recently. Like all within October. Look at all those views he lost. So you might be asking yourself, what videos did he delete? And we don't have a perfect answer for that because YouTube doesn't have a great way to tell that. But we do have maybe something to look at, because when you delete a video that's part of a playlist, it doesn't actually, it still shows it as like unavailable. And you can get a good idea of what he deleted by what's no longer in video playlists. That's how this works. So I went looking through his playlist and I said, what is Brian Rose hiding? What's he been deleting lately? And what I found shocked me. Brian Rose has been deleting all the conservative podcasts that he had on his channel. This is Brian, I'll defend your death, your right to say it, whatever. Look at this. He deleted his Larry Elder podcast. Look, this video has been removed by the uploader. Oops. His Dan Crenshaw episode, his Dennis Prager episode, Candace Owens, but it's got a certain leaning to it, right? Because he's got other interviews that you might think of as maybe a little bit controversial that are still up as long as they have left-wing views. But if they're a right-winger, then all of a sudden he removes them. Dave Rubin's removed. Here we go, Dave Rubin. But basically he's cleaning house of all the controversial interviews. He's censoring himself and removing stuff off of his platform so people can't find it anymore, find out what he believes now that he's running for mayor. Look, even David Icke, Mr. David Icke, the guy who basically put Brian on the map, to be honest. Brian's career exploded when he got connected with David Icke. Where are all the videos with David Icke? There are 15 deleted videos with David Icke. And the one that is still up, what it's called is, I don't agree with everything you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. Apparently, only until it's politically inconvenient for him, and then he'll delete your video with him. I will say he still has his videos up on the Digital Freedom platform. I will give you that. But I think there's some very strategic reasons he's removing them from YouTube. And I'm going to prove in a second that it's him removing them, not YouTube. I think he's doing it because he knows most people won't actually go through his platform. They're going to go through YouTube to find out what he thinks. And so he's curating this very palatable public image. He knows he's in the public eye now that he's trying to run for mayor. And so he's trying to clean house. He doesn't want to be seen associating with somebody like David Icke, because he knows he's going to be seen as a conspiracy theorist. He knows the optics of it. He might say that he's Mr. Free Speech. I'll let David Icke on my platform. But in reality, he's trying to distance himself. I don't know David Icke who, that kind of stuff. Because when you look at these videos that he's deleted, right? You got to look at these videos that he's deleted. Look, you might be thinking to yourself, well, surely YouTube has deleted all of them, right? Well, no, because he's always crying censorship, right? And it's not true that YouTube's deleted all of them. Look, this is a private video, anything that says private, automatically you know that London Real proactively did that. Then secondly, you can tell even with deleted videos whether London Real deleted it or YouTube deleted it. For example, there's one video in this playlist that was actually deleted by YouTube. It's this one right here. It says this video has been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines. But the rest of these deleted videos, they say this video has been removed by the uploader. Can you see that? This video has been removed by, here's another one. Here's another one. This video has been removed by the uploader. Here's another one. Once again, removed. What does this all mean? London Real's cleaning house with all of his controversial episodes, you know? By the way, I don't care if you're conservative, Republican, Democrat, a liberal, however you identify. That's not the point of this channel. Not a political thing. It's a hypocrisy thing. You can't be Mr. Free Speech and then not actually support free speech on your channel.
One thing I've understood about freedom of speech is it really means freedom of speech for things you don't want to hear out of other people's minds.
Anyway, that's basically it. I just want to give a quick shout out, by the way, for the guy who designed this set that you're seeing right now, Jonathan Lampel on Twitter. You can go follow him, and that's basically it. Thanks for watching.
And don't forget to smash like and subscribe. Thank you.